Alright, y'all. We need to talk about this Diddy and Cassie situation because this trial that started on May 13th, 2025 is absolutely insane, and it feels like every single day there's a new lawyer that makes it messier, nastier, and just straight up unreal. This is not your average celeb scandal. This is a courtroom level psychological horror flick mixed with Hollywood glitz, freak-offs, NDAs, and allegations that make RICO charges look like petty theft. If you're wondering what RICO charges are, it's basically racketeer influenced and corrupt organization charges. Let's rewind for a split second for some context. Back in November 2023, Cassie, also known as Cassie Ventura, filed a civil lawsuit against Sean Combs, better known as Diddy or Diddler, accusing him of years of physical abuse, coercive S3X trafficking, and psychological manipulation. That lawsuit got settled in less than 24 hours, reportedly for around a whopping $20 million. Everyone thought, oh, this is going to quietly disappear. But then, bam! May 13th, 2025 hits, and the feds are back with RICO charges, and Cassie's right there in the middle of it, now testifying in a criminal trial. So what exactly is happening in court right now? Let's start with the bombshells Cassie dropped on the stand. She described these alleged freak-offs orchestrated by Diddy, where she was forced to have to do the deed with male escorts, while he watched, directed, and even filmed the acts. One of the craziest parts? These escorts were allegedly recruited off Craigslist, and both she and the escorts had to go under disguises. Cassie as Jackie Star, Diddy as Frank Black. They would wear wigs and masks to hide their identities. According to Cassie, these sessions weren't just S3Xual, they were humiliating and dangerous. She recounted being urinated on, even choking from the volume. She said she was regularly high on ecstasy and MDMA during these encounters, feeling sick or even vomiting, but Diddler pushed her to continue. At one point, Diddy allegedly built a whole vibe around these sessions, like the time they had a kiddie pool filled with baby oil, reapplied every 5 minutes to keep everyone glistening. And guess what? There's an actual male escort, Jonathan O.D., who took the stand and corroborated the entire vibe, claiming he was paid $800 per session and later forced into a $5 million NDA. Dude even has a wild history. He once stormed Trump's Dorsal Resort, the Doral Resort in 2018, yelling about Diddy, Hillary, and Obama being in a satanic cable. Back then, he sounded crazy. Now, everybody's listening. Cassie also claimed Diddler was obsessive and controlling, confiscating her phone, making her use fake names, tracking her movements, and demanding she call him Pop Pop because that was her grandfather's nickname. Psychological Domination 101. And then there is the 2016 hotel hallway video. Yep, the one that CNN leaked. The one where Diddy is seen kicking and dragging Cassie. You're shown to jurors. That alone has shifted public opinion and gave serious weight to her claims. And get this, a hotel security guard who recorded the footage testified that Diddy tried to bribe him with a stack of cash to delete the evidence. Now let's be fair. The defense isn't sitting silent. Diddy's lawyers have admitted he committed domestic violence, but they're arguing that it's not S3X trafficking. They straight up told the jury that while he might be a S3Xual deviant, that does not make him a criminal. They even tried to flip the script, saying the freak ops were consensual, even pulling up text from Cassie like, "Can't wait for the next freak offs." The whole defense boils down to, yes, he's twisted. Yes, he abused her, but the actual charges do not hold. They're trying to separate the disgusting personal behavior from criminal enterprise behavior, but the prosecution has receipts. Cassie also detailed how Diddler ran this whole operation like a business. Shell companies booked flights and hotels under fake names. Burner phones were distributed. Surveillance footage of freak-off sessions were allegedly used as blackmail. Cassie says she was threatened with her own S3X tapes if she ever left. One time on a plane, when she moved seats away from Diddler, he allegedly showed her a video of her with an escort and said, "Do that again and I'll release this." Oh, and remember Kid Cudi? Cassie testified that Diddy threatened to blow up his car, not in a hip-hop beef way, literally blow it up. The prosecution says this paints a broader picture of control and intimidation, critical to proving racketeering. But let's hold on for a second and let's play the devil's advocate. Some of the defense points do raise questions. For example, Cassie was allegedly involved in facilitating these freak-offs, hiring escorts, arranging travel. She was in it for a 10 whole whopping years. There is text message evidence of her appearing enthusiastic at times. The defense is trying to frame this as a toxic but consensual relationship, with Cassie is now flipping into a RICO charge to cash out. And remember, she already got a whopping $20 million in the civil case. Is this about justice or revenge? The jury will have to figure that out. And yeah, I know people are talking about Clive Davis, Diddy's music mentor, and all these rumors swirling around Diddy's ties to secret societies or a wider blackmail empire. Allegations that Diddy himself may have been groomed and abused by powerful men in the industry. That's speculation for now, but the name being dropped, the layers to this thing, is giving Hollywood Black Book 2.0. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room either. This could blow up other people, the chefs, security guards, assistants, Cassie named names, David James, Christina Coram. These are people who might testify. If even a few support what she's saying, Diddy might be looking at a serious time in prison. Let me break this down real clearly. Racketeering conspiracy, the max sentence is life in prison. S3X trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, minimum 15 years. The max is life behind bars. Transporting people for the purpose of prostitution, that's up to 10 years behind bars. And realistically, even if the jury cannot convict on RICO or S3X trafficking, if it's hit with the transport charges, he's still doing time behind bars. The prosecution seems to know this and might be happy just locking in some conviction. Now look, I'm not here to play judge and jury, but I'm here to say this case is not simple. You've got a woman who was undeniably abused. Based on that hallway video alone, a man with massive power and resources who ran his private life like a secretive operation, claims that some of this was consensual, at least in part. $20 million already paid out, leaked texts showing conflicting vibes, and a defense trying to say, yeah, he's a scumbag, but not this kind of scumbag. Personally, I think this might go the way of OJ, where a lot of people feel justice was not served, even if the letter of the law was being followed. Or it might be the start of a tidal wave that takes down a lot more powerful people who are part of these alleged freak-off circles. Either way, Cassie's testimony is the bomb at the center of this explosion. The only question now is how big the blast radius is. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Was Cassie a victim, a co-conspirator, or both? Is Diddy being railroaded, or is this karma finally catching up? Either way, buckle up. This trial is far from over. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.